Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Time is But a Window, and today we're going to be doing another player analysis. Now, we haven't done one of these in a long time, and today we're going to be doing one on Hy9er, who was rank C+ when he sent this. He had just recently D-ranked and was wondering if there was anything in this game he could have done differently to have won this game. So for those of you guys that don't know what Esea is, it's basically a monthly subscription service. Think of Faceit, but in America, and also has leagues tied to it. Either way, some people say that the skill levels can go a little bit above global, though really the biggest difference between Esea and Matchmaker is the entire playstyle. Here's a really good example of what I'm talking about. Here's a video of Nothing from Cloud9. He's also rank S, playing in, well, single eagle it looks like, and just completely having a hard time, barely being able to do much of anything against the other team. Yet, of course, the same player can go into a rank S game and just completely dominate it based on playstyle alone. Now, the reason I bring this up is because in Esea, it's never about your aim. It's always about what you're doing and how you're playing the situations. Now, here we see Hy9er doing a pretty standard rotation over, but in all honesty, he shouldn't be doing this. Instead of coming tree, which was already spotted out by the terrorists, he should actually be making his way over towards vent. And if they send two guys through vent, the first guy will be able to hopefully get that first kill, and then if he doesn't get the kill, the other second guy should be able to get the trade. Getting the trade kill is incredibly important, and look at the situation he finds himself in here. Now he doesn't have anyone to back him up, and he's being shot at from multiple angles, because look how many different angles can actually hold the tree push. The next couple of rounds are eco rounds, and really the main goal of these rounds is to make the other team spend more money than he's spending in the pistols that he's buying. Now here you can see he picks up the deagle, and he's going to decide to go for the hero play to try to win the round. Now, what he actually should probably be doing is sitting back here and just trying to get people's guns away from him. Any kind of economic damage he does now will help later on in the game. What I was just talking about on the previous round, he does perfectly here. As you can see, he's just holding and waiting for exits. Keep in mind, though, that the first guy didn't actually spot him out, which means if he had let him pass, he might have gotten that second kill as well. This next round, his teammates go down, which gives him the call that the guy's coming in, and because of that, he goes for this aggressive peek here on Heaven. And while it is a high-risk peek, he does actually clean it up pretty well. This is one way to go about it, but it's the more skilled-based way, and there might be an easier way to do it, especially considering you have so much utility. After all, don't forget, the other guy has to plant the bomb. I'm going to show you this round twice, because this is something you can't let happen ever. As you can see, he hesitated a long time before he fired, and the reason behind this is because he kept repositioning himself because he wasn't sure of himself in the angles. To keep from having this happen again, make sure that you position yourself on the left side of it so that you're watching the smaller peak. Even if you miss the shot, you can communicate with your teammate, and look how close he is. He's overplaying on the other side of red. While the next round's a pretty expensive save round because you have the deagle and body armor, honestly, there's not much you're going to be able to do. I mean, you take your spam shots towards the smoke, and if people were going down and all of a sudden you were in a good situation to go for it, I'd say try. But if not, just try to save your gun and try to take away as many of their guns as possible. Here it's easy to just say that I feel bad for you because you're missing some of these easier shots that you could usually probably hit, I'm sure. But to be completely honest, back to what I was saying, when it's Esea, it's never about hitting shots. It's about playing the scenario. Now, while I do agree with peeking the left side of the box and then coming around and peeking once from red, I think after that you should have forced the last guy to try to commit to you. After all, you already had your teammate rotating over to help you with the crossfire, and he would have been put into a really difficult situation having to deal with you guys both at the same time. This next round was a very well played save round. Your teammate was able to get these two picks because you didn't go overly aggressive and you were just holding the angle in case anyone pushed out. Now here you found yourself in a 2v1, and because of that you wanted to see if you could get an aggressive pick here, which I fully understand. Now let's talk about game theory for a second. You find yourself in a 1v1 situation. I'm sure your teammate may have called if there was a guy in middle. And because you go and check that, you assume that he's all the way over at the B site, but of course he hasn't planted yet, and we don't actually know if he actually even has the bomb. So there's really one of three things you can do. One, you can use that AWP over here at the A site and just kind of hold, watch highway, and watch A main in case he decides to come over this way. Two, you can make your way over towards middle and just kind of hold that choke point, giving yourself the shortest rotation to either of the sites. And of course, three is to rotate all the way over here over to the B site. Depending on how much information you knew about the final player, I would say that your best bet was probably to go into middle, giving yourself the shortest rotation over. And because you do have an AWP, you have these long angles on A, so if he takes it, you have an advantage. Now, if he goes B, you also have a slight advantage of he doesn't exactly know which direction you're going to come from. You could either go through the vent, you could go through heaven, or you could go through tree. Now, while I think the molly you threw was great, I think that what you should have either done is hold from the push out, or been in a position so that if you did push out, you couldn't be seen. It's important to remember that Molotovs are not nades, and they don't do instantaneous high damage, so people have time to push through them. This was a good play by you and your teammate. He had a good angle on the door and was able to take down that terrorist, and just so you know, he pushed through the door because he heard the shot and wanted to get you between shots, just in case you were wondering. This is one of those rounds that would have worked great for you if you were playing in Matchmaker, but since you are playing ESEA, this guy decided to go for the aggressive pick. Generally in ESEA, remember they will go for the aggressive picks. First of all, you're the only guy defending this site, so I would have tried to let people push up towards you and try to take them out tactically as they're coming in one after another. That being said, you had a really easy kill on this guy in middle, and the gun just didn't want to be accurate for you, and because of that, you end up getting taken down. Instead of committing to it and just fighting him for as long as you did, I would have taken a couple of shots and been like, okay, it's not going to hit, I'll have to wait until later. I've done a little bit of damage, he's low. I think you did everything pretty good here. This one actually did kind of come down to you just not hitting the shot on the guy heaven. The other guy might not have been expected depending on what your teammate had called earlier. Even if you did expect him, he hit a pretty perfect shot onto you and it had been very hard to react to. It's never too late to change things up, and I'm glad to see that you're actually coming over here to the B site. Not only that, when you get boosted up, you're in a position that people aren't quite expecting, and after getting that first kill, they kind of expect you to drop off, so it was pretty smart of you to stay up for that second kill and drop off when that third guy peeked out. You're able to take out this first guy, and all I can say is just be wary of people playing at off angles, especially in ESEA. Pretty big desperation play here, and you guys are able to take the B site. You get an M4, you actually push aggressive in the tree room, but you're in a one and done spot. And I can understand you had numbers here, and as long as you got your one pick, your teammates would be in a 2v2, but there really is no fallback here, especially if two guys were to have pushed tree. This was a good take right here. Your teammate flashed out for you, and you kind of came out and cleared out everything. That brings up something I noticed on CT side, but wasn't sure how to get into it. You don't really play with your teammate much. You kind of play the A side alone, and even when he rotates over, you never kind of hide and flash out for him and let him take some of the heat off of you. I wouldn't say that this was played smart at all, but the good news is your teammate was there to get the trade kill in case you didn't get this kill. Either way, this was more about that CT missing rather than you actually doing anything to dodge the kill. This was really good. While you weren't able to actually come back and save your teammate, it was nice that you came over to try to help him. And then you saw that the bomb was down, so you got it, realized that the B site was clear, and went over to plant the bomb. Very well played. Great pick in middle, and then after that you guys are taking the A site, and everything looks like it's going good. You come over to pick the truck, but you really should be helping your teammate out, trying to clear out the site first, and then you can come back and pick the truck if you like. Also, on picking the truck, since you do this quite often from forklift, remember you can always do a deep flash if you have it, so that you can peek out without having to worry about someone killing you from the other side, or even jump up on top of the forklift and pick from different angles. See how much better it goes this time when you actually go into the site and actually clear it for your teammate, and then once he's got it cleared, then you can make your way back over here to forklift if you choose. On this round, it just feels so chaotic. It's like, what the hell could we have done? And in all honesty, you just needed to get control of that checkers room and just kept someone on vent while you pick site from checkers, because you have a better advantage picking from there because of how far the angle is than you do picking up close like you did. Also, I saw that you pulled the smoke grenade, and you could have thrown that for heaven to block that off as well, but it wouldn't have mattered there because, like I said, you didn't have anyone watching checkers vent, and someone was going to push through that and kill you guys anyways. Hy9er, I hope you enjoyed this video and you found something useful in it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As for everyone else, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and were also able to obtain something out of it. More will be made in the future, but I make these ones sporadically. But feel free to email me with a demo file, which is the easiest way for me to get to it later. Thank you guys, and have a great day.